Angelina, what does this movie say about family to you? 'Cause this one's all about family.
It's about family. It's also about it's about a few things to me. It is about family, and it's Aurora and Maleficent were first brought together and became a family. They weren't really expecting it. Maleficent was harmed in her life, and she'd lost herself and lost her ability to, I think, be soft or feel love, and the love of a child, which certainly happened for me in my life. Being a mother brought out something in me that completely transformed me. And I think, but we are different. We're different creatures in the film. And so there are metaphors in the film, and not to be heavy about it, but always, I think, a good film for young people has these messages. And I think there's a real question in the film. We get pulled apart. People tell us, because you're not the same, you're not family. Because you're not exactly like her, you're not her mother. And that certainly strikes a chord with me. And I think Maleficent questions whether she's good enough to be a mother, and whether she is her mother. And so in the middle of this film, we go on different journeys, and she finds herself in this idea, well, I'm like this, I was born this way, so that must be my true nature. And I think, well, I guess I'm a creature, and I'm like this, so that must be my true nature. So we go through this period in the middle of the film where everybody's really focusing on their differences, how different we are, and we go to our own corners with our separate backgrounds or ways of being, or who we are, or how we're born. And then there's a real push to say, this is not how it should be, and this is not how to live, and diversity makes us stronger, and there must be a better way forward, and we have to come together. And so we do that in the film with the humans and the creatures and the Morpho coming together. We do that as a family, and we come together, and we fight against this separation, and we unite, and we say, this is the world we choose to live in. And I think that is a really important message.
Prince Philip in this movie is really torn between his family and then sort of his chosen family, his new family. How does your character deal with that enormous conflict in that really fabulous wig?
Thank you. It's difficult because we sort of open on him in this like pre-existing mindset that Ulstead, the kingdom, and his family are sort of living in, and they're at a more mature level in their relationship when you want to start making sort of choices for yourself and leading a new way forward. So it's sort of coming up against that, and it's difficult when you're going up against your own sort of parents as well. So I think that's something that he struggles with continuously, and then along with Aurora, we sort of strive for change and just try and support that.
And Sam, Dioval has such a unique relationship with Maleficent. Can you talk about the evolution of that relationship in this film, as well as like what's the behind the scenes, like when you, because I remember seeing in the behind the scenes of the first film, flapping your arms and running out of a scene, like ducking down because you're poof turning into something else. But tell us about that evolution for this film.
Well, one of the things I really enjoyed about the first one was the sort of the bickering that we had between one another. And I imagine that's developed over the last 6 years. We've become the sort of surrogate parents of Aurora. And Dioval is sort of one of the only ones who is brave enough to contradict her in some of her behaviors, or suggest, means of being more polite, or how humans behave. And we had a lot of fun playing this sort of thing.
Joachim, let's talk more about this new land that we're seeing, the land of the Fae. Can you talk about the process of creating that world? What were some of your initial ideas that came to life?
Yeah, no, I think it was important for us to create a bigger universe for this movie, and in that sense, this is Maleficent's being thrown into exile and discovers that she's not the only Dark Fae, and that universe and their nest of origin, so to speak, took a lot of planning, a lot of meetings, and a lot of amazing artwork. And I think the big inspiration for me and for us was probably nature. You know, that the dark fae is somewhat representing nature, and in that sense we used the different biomes that you find in nature and created groups within the dark fae, within the Maleficent, so to speak. You know, there were tundra, there were forest, jungle, and desert, and everything became centered around that and designed around that, and also their habitats in the nest that they are living.
Please give it up for Ed Skrine, Chiwetel
Thank you very
Ejiofor,
much, everyone. Thanks for
Michelle
coming.
Pfeiffer, Angelina Jolie, Elle Fanning, Harris Dickinson, Sam Riley, and Joachim Roning.